This is your boy Lord Thaddeus Crack. This one's going to be a very interesting one. It's more of an urban legend of Japanese folklore. Not really a cryptid or well, it's a spirit, potentially. But like I said, it's more of an urban legend. Now, what exactly is an urban legend? Well, you got to think about this, at least when it comes to the Japanese mindset. They tend to be more cautionary tales, like pretty much check your ego, check your vanity. Just don't be stupid on certain things. Just gonna leave it at that. But at the same time, it also is a focus of the dark parts of the human mind. I'm talking about the Slit-Mouthed Woman. This is a broad that is not very friendly at all. She has mutilated herself, almost like a Glasgow smile. Quite literally cut her mouth here and here with a pair of scissors. That's what she goes around carrying. And she comes upon you, and it's like, you think I'm pretty. And of course, if you're dumb enough to tell her no, she's going to kill you, and maybe that's the better way to do it. But at the same time, you tell her, hey, I think you look okay to try to appeal to that vanity. She's not stupid. She knows subconsciously she knows she ain't. Or she might want to make you a companion of hers in some weird kind of screwed up way, so she'll do the same to you. And yeah, you ain't going to be looking too pretty, I promise you. So what's so funny is, an entity like this, I do believe, is potentially something that may have been conjured by the mind. You got to understand, you have something that comes out like an urban legend. I've mentioned Slender Man many times, and that's just how it is. But sightings of that thing, I think it's along the same lines. I think a lot of people have, read into this or heard about it, and people being what they, the way we think is not always the most positive. Would put that out there. Of course, when you have that much brain juice being put out into the ethereal plane, something's going to be conjured up. I think that is definitely a potential reason for such manifestations. I do believe that there's been stories about this thing. Of course, again, it is an urban legend. It's naturally going to be embellished and all this. I get that. But I do believe that there is always something based on a fact, and I'm not sure. But again, supposedly you can also confuse this thing by saying, you look maybe kind of plain, or I don't really know how you're looking, and you can confuse them and you can get the hell away. You try to normally run just without doing anything, it's going to kill you anyway. But I'm just saying, it seems to be almost a cautionary tale about vanity in some ways, or at least when it comes to this situation, you have to really be careful about just telling something what they want to hear. Again, it's very interesting. It's almost like a warning, to an extent, to not be foolish in certain ways. There are so many stories in Japanese folklore about such beings and creatures. And again, it always seems to have something to do with the relation to how the human spirit interacts with others or how it is suffered. You have to understand, both the Shinto belief, if I remember right, and as well as the Buddhist belief, definitely. If I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, but I do believe both beliefs have very strong tie-ins with reincarnation. So therefore, you have to take that into consideration. Someone who is tormented, they're brought back as someone, or a creature even, something that is tormented. It's just like if someone does bad in life, maybe they suffered in life, that has to be ground out somehow. And maybe this entity is a result of that. At least according to their beliefs or their faith. That's just how it is. Do I personally believe this? No. But in the end, it's not a matter of what I believe. Truthfully. If you get my drift. It's a matter of what the ones that are possibly thinking this thing into reality believe. That's what you have to understand. It's the most important thing you got to realize. There's always, never underestimate the power of the mind, ever. Also, I do believe that such beings are, again, they're a manifestation of the ego. The stories behind them is what I'm talking about, not necessarily the beings themselves, but the stories behind them. They always seem to be a lesson about your vanity, your greed, your laziness, whatever it is. It's usually a lesson, usually in urban legends. And to me, I've always been fascinated by such things. That's why I wanted to do this one. instead of just doing, my usual either cryptid or spiritual being or whatever it is. This one, like I said, was just something very interesting. Hell, there's even been stories supposedly that she was that the Slit-Mouthed Woman at one time was if I remember right, she was a samurai's cheating wife, and he found out and he disfigured her. Just all kinds of crazy stuff that are hooked up into these things. And again, there's always a fact behind the fiction. I just figured I should go ahead and put this one out there because I thought it was neat. And potentially, there is definitely, I do what I do as part of entertainment. I admit that. And there's definitely some high value to something like this. And also, there's different anime and manga which have creatures like this. And to me, I've been into that stuff all my life, so therefore, it speaks for itself. So, I'm just doing something I enjoy, point blank. And I'm trying to share it with you guys. Sorry about the cast of shadow here. It's late, so that's how it is. I just wanted to put that out there and let you guys, hopefully, take everything I say with a grain of salt, and maybe at that point, I think you understand what I'm trying to get at. Also, a little bit of an update. My tooth is doing better. They were not able to finish the root canal because this right here is infected. So what they had to do is they had to break it off or grind it down and take the nerve out. So in a couple of weeks after I'm done taking antibiotics, I should be right as rain. I just have to be very careful about how I handle things, that's all. I just wanted to put that out there, and I appreciate everyone's well wishes. But things are looking good. I'm not hurting anymore. I just have to take care of myself. Also, I wanted to put out, there's a new website. It is darkwatersradio.com. It's updated fairly constantly. And also, there's, DW tends to put up some very interesting stuff on that site. Different things. Paranormal, cryptid, whatever it is. Take a look at it. You won't be disappointed. I just wanted to put that out there. And I'm probably going to be doing some stories of mine fairly soon. I'm not sure what I'm going to be putting out just yet. Because honestly, the well kind of, I'm not going to say it ran dry. It's just a lot of my projects are finished. They've been, I pretty much rounded them all up and wrapped everything up. But I plan on continuing on a few things. But I also plan on doing narrations and not just my own stuff. So I'm going to put that out there. I've already done one with the wheel. There's one I'm looking at right now. And I think someone else is going to be sending something to me later on. But I wanted to leave that out there. And I hope, seriously, that you guys enjoy my work and you be blessed and you be safe.